Autumn Dates, Chapter 3, Pumpkin Carving, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Autumn Week Prompts by Usiku, also known as Rika on Instagram. You can find a link to the Autumn Week prompts in the description box. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on the latest parts of your favorite fanfiction, hit the bell for notifications, smash the like button, and leave a comment. Wow, that sounds like a to-do list. If you don't know what to comment to help the YouTube algorithm and the creator herself, you can put pumpkin carving. You can put pumpkin carving. Now then, please enjoy Autumn Dates, Chapter 3. Marinette Dupang Chang. Marinette felt butterflies eating her stomach, organizing and reorganizing the carving tools as she waited for Adrien to arrive. Would he come? Would he really come? Could she trust Cat on this? Well, this wasn't all on Cat. Adrien had agency too. Yeah, Adrien would come if he wanted to, not because he was forced. He'd even voiced Cat Noir in that movie that came out, so she couldn't be surprised that they knew each other. Her heart leapt every time the door jingled, and finally, a jingle belonged to Adrien. Adrien was here. Okay, calm down. Play it cool, Marinette. Play it cool. Hey, model boy, she said, shooting him finger guns. He appeared startled, but shot her finger guns back with knitted eyebrows. Hey, Marinette, he replied. Oh, why was she so awkward? At least he went along with it, else she'd probably melt right then and there. So, ready to stab stuff? She said, grabbing the nearest carving utensil. She didn't realize she looked like a serial killer with a butcher knife until it was too late. Her eyes widened, unsure how to recover from this. Sure, Adrien laughed, easing her anxiety as she shrugged off the brown jacket layered over a cardigan. As hard as it was to concentrate when he was in the room, her attention focused on the action. The extra long shirt was art in its own right on him, but she'd missed the stomach peaks that came with stretching in t-shirts during summer. Putting her ogling thoughts aside, Marinette gestured stiffly to the table and he sat down, smiling gently as she took the seat across from him. Shall we start with the actual pumpkins first? He asked. Yeah, great, sure. Marinette wished she had a normal voice like Alia or even Chloe. Why was she born a squeaker? And also, what should she do with her arms? On her lap? On the table? How did Adrien look so effortlessly cool? Cool. He opened his bag and pulled out a few cellophane bags that she couldn't make out. Here, he said, handing her one. What is superhero kits? Superhero kits? Adrien pulled out cat ears and held them up to his head. I'm Cat Noir, he joked, tilting his head to the side and blinking like a Japanese advertisement. You're silly, Marinette said. Somehow, the action eased her anxiety, and she felt better about the afternoon. Sure, it'd still be hard to chat, but at least she wouldn't be going into an emotional overdrive. He lowered the Cat Noir ears, stabbing them into the top of the pumpkin in front of him. I got 8 sets, I think. 8 sets? Ladybug, Cat Noir, Viperian. Adrien counted on his fingers as he spoke. queen bee, Rena Rouge, carapace, hawk moth. They made a hawk moth pumpkin kit? Marinette all but yelled her interjection. I know, right? Adrien laughed and picked up the bag. Came with purple paint, too. Oh, I have to see this. Marinette unwrapped the packaging, pulling out an akumatization mask intended to stick into a gourd of choice like it was a Mr. Potato Man. Honestly, the whole concept was hilarious. All right, Adrien said, pulling a plastic tail out and whipping his pumpkin around. Pin the tail on the Cat Noir. It doesn't count if your eyes aren't closed. He looked up at her, practically looked through her, and smirked. Are you challenging me, Marinette? Oh, how darling her name sounded in his mouth. She crossed her arms, attempting to return his smugness in stride as her heart froze her beat by beat. It's not a challenge if you're talented. His smile grew wider and he closed his eyes, jabbing his pumpkin violently. Did I make it? He asked, eyes still closed. Okay, you're right, Marinette said, relieved. Not a challenge at all. Adrien laughed, opening his eyes to see his handiwork. Your turn, he announced. My turn? Yeah, get that mask on there. Without warning, nervousness overtook her, and she was once again crippled from worrying about her performance in front of her crush. Sugar and cookies. Why couldn't she be a cool kid? Well, okay. The worst thing she could do was miss horribly and injure one of them in the process, right? Right. Closing her eyes, Marinette jabbed the hawk moth akumatization mask into her pumpkin, feeling it slide into resistance. All right, she heard Adrien say, but didn't open her eyes. Instead, she withdrew her hands, pulling them to her chest as she worked up the courage to open her eyes and observe the handiwork. And now we paint, Adrien said, taking his brush out of the bag. Oh, a bit anticlimactic. There was no need for her to be that dramatic after all. Taking pictures for Instagram? She asked when he pulled out his phone. He hesitated, stealing a glance at her before sighing. Kind of. What do you mean? He ran his fingers through the back of his hair. It's embarrassing, but... But? But what? Was it a girl? Oh, no! He wanted to send photos to a girl to make her jealous! Oh, no! Oh, of course he'd rather be with whatever girl he liked than be here with her making childish superhero pumpkins. I'm kind of hoping Ladybug will see them. All of Marinette's anxieties ceased for a split second. Oh, Ladybug? I mean, not to make a big deal out of it, but... Ladybug. Yeah. Ladybug. You want Ladybug to see it. I mean, I've kind of got a massive crush on her, so... Like, you have Adrien? Adrien, do you have a crush or a celebrity crush? Marinette tried to snoop without being too obvious. The jury's still out on that one. She felt her face freeze. Play it cool. Would you like me to set you up with her? Adrien's paintbrush hovered above the now half-black pumpkin. Set me up? The tips of his ears were pink. You know, an outing, like a picnic or something. What was coming out of her mouth? Was she abusing her Miraculous for a date? But is a date for Adrien, so... Do you think she would? Adrien leaned in. Yeah, I mean, you guys have met before. The girls gotta eat, and I'm sure it would be good for both your brands. Was that a good enough excuse? Oh, yeah. Adrien turned his attention back to his pumpkin. Branding. Of course. It almost sounded like defeat. Do you not want to? Marinette asked, heart pounding. No. He made eye contact. No, I'd love it, branding or not. She'd never heard him so eager, especially when tacked with the contrasting tone from his previous sentence. Great. When works? Tomorrow. It almost sounded like he blurted it out. Great. After school? That sounds great. Marinette slumped to the floor after Adrien left, unable to respond to her bravery over the hour. A date. A date! A date with Adrien Agreste! Was she already behind on her homework? Yes, but still, this was incredible! Incredible! Flinging her windows open, Marinette met the autumn air with a smile. Ah, yes. This truly was the best season. Picnics and all. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest parts of your favorite fanfiction, because Chapter 4 is coming out tomorrow. Anyway, if you've made it this far, leave a comment to show that you made it all the way to the end. If you don't know what to comment, put autumn air. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!